Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new week and welcome to a brand new edition of what we like to call the Shifting the Culture podcast, where we talk about the different artists, different events, and different controversies that surround this world we know and love as hippity hip hop. I am your host, the vegan you believe in, Conscious Kurt, aka the Professor in the flesh as always.
And this is King Khan, aka the Evil Genius, live and direct once again. What a week in hip hop, man! What a crazy week.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week, not just in hip hop, but also basketball. Yeah, this week has been very newsworthy to say the least.
Yeah, man, it's been a eventful week, man. Glad we made it through, but yeah, there's a lot going on right now, and like you said, not in just music, but also in sports. The NBA playoffs going on. Shouts out to the Knicks for finally beating the Sixers. That was a really tough series. I'm just glad that series is over, man, because that series was giving me anxiety, man. Every game was like down to the wire. There weren't really any blowouts or anything like that. So glad that series is over, and looking forward to the next round series.
Yeah, I was so relieved when they won on Thursday night. It really wasn't looking good in that second quarter when they couldn't score to save their lives. But they really came back hard, and I was so happy when they won. But I'm not gonna lie, not just that game, but that whole series gave me more gray hairs than our dad. That shit was no joke, man. But I'm happy that the Knicks
Yeah,
won.
man.
They're advancing to the next round, and they're playing the Pacers to reignite the old school rivalry from back in the day. And I'm looking forward to it. I just keep my fingers crossed that they win this series.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough series. Indiana, they can score a lot, but the Knicks got to get paid back for when Carmelo got blocked at the rim by Roy Hibbert the last time they played in the playoffs. I don't know if you remember that,
I believe.
when Melo got famously blocked when he tried to dunk it, and
Yeah,
then he got blocked at the rim. And then and the Knicks were a favorite in that series. They should have won that series, but anyways. But yeah, definitely need to get some payback. And another thing that's interesting about this series is that Rick Carlisle was the coach of the Mavericks when Jalen Brunson was on that team, and then he didn't play Brunson that much. So I'm sure Brunson remembers that, and is going to want to prove a point to him, which he's been trying to prove everybody wrong this whole season. So I'm looking forward to that, to see what Brunson has in store, because there's no Embiid in this series. So I think Brunson's going to have an even better series than last one.
yeah. I'm not gonna take them lightly though, because anything can happen. Even this series with the Sixers was far more competitive than I thought it would be. But I have to give the Sixers credit though. Even though Embiid was hurt, and even though they were going through those kind of issues, they still put up a hell of a fight, and that's definitely saying a lot. But I'm just happy that our boys won.
Yeah, they definitely put up a fight, and being still, even though he's on one leg, he's still,
A
top
stud.
three players in the league. Yeah, and he's still dropping like over 30 points pretty much every game. So he's a lot to deal with. So I'm glad the Knicks were able to, still pull it out. But it was definitely a hard fought series. And if Embiid was healthy during the year, the Sixers probably would have been a 2 or 3 seed. So really, if you look at it from that perspective, that first round series is probably like an Eastern Conference Finals, or at least a second round series. But this was in the first round, so it kind of felt like it was a conference finals series.
Yeah, I'll say it's definitely the best series of the playoffs so far.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I'm gonna see. We'll see what happens in the next round, man. But I'm looking forward
Well, this round's not over
to the
yet.
other
We
series.
still got this round's not over yet. We still have the Cavs and the Magic today. And neither one of these teams have won a playoff series in a long time. If the Cavs win today, it's funny. This will be their first time winning a playoff series without LeBron since 1993.
Damn. To be honest with you, I haven't really cared much about this series. I don't really think I watched a full game,
Neither have
but
I really,
yeah,
but
I don't really care who wins. I just know whoever wins is gonna get destroyed by Boston in the next round, because none of these teams are on that level. So yeah, I think the only team that really has a chance to compete with Boston is the Knicks in the Eastern Conference. I don't think anybody else is really like built, to at least give them a fight. So yeah, I expect that whoever wins this Game 7 today, I expect whoever wins is gonna get stomped in by the Celtics in quick fashion.
yeah, probably they had their way with the Heat, which was no surprise. So I definitely see them winning this next round without any issues. And yeah, they've been number one pretty much all year. As much as I would love to see the Knicks beat them, realistically, I see either Boston or Denver going to the finals.
I don't know if Denver's a lock anymore, man. Have you seen Minnesota? Minnesota is not
It's
playing
only
around
one
this year,
game. I
man.
know, but it's only one game. If they lose the next game, then fine, we can talk about that. But it's only one game, bro.
Yeah, but Minnesota's been number one other than OKC. They've been in on the top two, three, top three seeds the whole season. They're not like a fluke. Like they're legit. Like it's gonna be a really tough series, and Denver's gonna have to to pull their A game out if they're gonna have to beat them because what's his name is playing really good. Anthony Edwards,
Anthony
like he's going,
Edwards.
yeah, he's going off lately, and looks like he's taking that next step to become a superstar. So looks like this is like his coming out party this playoffs. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I give them credit. They had their way with the Suns, which I mean anybody could have seen coming. But fuck, it's so crazy. Speaking of the Suns, Kevin Durant got swept out of the playoffs 3 years in a row. I didn't even think about that until I saw it like on this video the other day. Fuck, that's not good. That's not good.
Durant should have never left Golden State. Should have stayed there. His legacy would be much different instead of jumping from team to team and then it's not working out. Like those big three teams don't work out like that anymore, man. You're gonna have a full team of good players. That big three and then a whole bunch of like random dudes that doesn't work anymore in the NBA. You have to have a team that's good from top to bottom.
Yeah, the only teams that really succeeded with it were the Celtics and the Heat.
Yeah, exactly. But
And Golden State, they were winning before Durant even got there. So I don't know if I could even call that like, the same super team in that
yeah,
regard.
exactly. They already won. They already broke records and stuff. So yeah, I don't count that one.
Yeah, but it is what it is. It's too bad about the Lakers, though. I mean, I expected them to lose anyway, but that last game, it looked like they at least had a chance, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah, it just sucks. They got a bad matchup, man, in the first round. They got the defending champions in the first round, man. That's tough. So, hopefully, we'll see what happens with the Lakers next year. They need to make some moves. They need to get younger.
They just fired their coach.
Yeah. So, LeBron's getting older. He's still doing his thing, but I don't think he could impact winning like he used to, and he can't carry a team like he was on the Cavs. So he's gonna have to get more help from Anthony Davis and his supporting cast in order to make some noise next year. So we'll see what they do this offseason. I think they have some some draft picks and they could try to make some trades or whatnot. But I think they'll be a little bit better next year.
Yeah, one thing I've been hearing from like some Lakers fans is that he's kind of the reason why like they haven't been as good the last few years because he kind of has too much power and too much control, and he's been making certain moves that have maybe been doing the team more harm than good. I wouldn't doubt that really. Because after they won that title in 2020, they kind of pretty much just blew up the whole team, and they haven't really been the same since.
Yeah, they kind of lost some good players. They let Caruso go. That was a mistake.
Rondo,
Dwight Howard left. Rondo, he was older, but still, they should have kept him around at least another year. Yeah, it's kind of this KCP was on that team, was on the Nuggets now, so they had a squad, man, and yeah, it kind of got messed up right after they kind of traded away too many pieces.
yeah, it's too bad, man. And it's kind of like in a way, maybe the play-in tournament was created just so that the Lakers could get into the playoffs, and kind of Golden State.
Maybe, but I like the playing tournament though. I think it makes the last few weeks of the regular season interesting. It makes them have something to play for. So it's been good. I have no complaints about it.
One last thing about basketball before we get into the main topics. What's up with that shit that Stephen A. Smith pulled, like calling the league office about Russell Westbrook and getting him suspended?
Yeah, he was trying to do that. I didn't know much about it. I just heard that he was gonna call the league office. So yeah, even if you're gonna do that, at least don't put that out there publicly, so that because people already have reasons to not like Stephen A. Smith for whatever reason for the way his antics, the way he talks or whatnot. But yeah, just don't add fuel to the fire and like say the stuff like this on national TV. It just makes you look bad, and it's going to make other players and other people within basketball like kind of question your motives and whatnot. Like I feel like he's overstepping his boundaries a little bit, but
Yeah, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson were not happy about what the fuck he did, especially Steven Jackson, who's already not really liked him for years. And he was not holding any punches when he said how he felt about Stephen A. And also not
Yeah,
and
so
also not just the fact that he did this, but also those recent comments Stephen A made about comparing Trump to black people because of how like he's being unfairly targeted and unfairly profiled. Yeah, that also made him like not come off well.
yeah, so I don't know, man. We'll see. Stephen needs to to chill out because this year a lot's going on. People getting exposed, so
Ooh.
hopefully he doesn't have any skeletons in the closet that that come up. So he needs to tread lightly. Not this year, not the year to be to playing around.
No, not at all. So speaking of which, let's get into our main topic of the day. Hip hop beefs, which there have been no shortage of recently, and it's pretty much been the biggest story like the last month. And since we last talked to you guys last week, Kendrick Lamar has dropped four separate disses to Drake. One,
Unbelievable.
one of them on Wednesday morning called Euphoria, followed by another one called 616 that came out Friday morning. And in between that, Drake did drop a diss back to him called Family Matters on late Friday night, early Saturday morning. And then 30 minutes later, Kendrick dropped another diss called Meet the Grams. And ooh, talk about your
Jeez.
character assassinations. That's what the fuck that was.
No more than that, man. That was it's bad.
But wait, there's more. There's more. I'm not done yet. And last night, another diss from Kendrick dropped called Not Like Us. So with the rate we're going right now, Kendrick's probably gonna have another one out probably by this afternoon. Hell, probably as we're recording, he's probably gonna drop another one.
Yeah, that's why I keep checking on my phone. I keep refreshing to see if there's anything that came out. I even woke up this morning just expecting. I went to bed kind of late last night, and I woke up this morning expecting maybe somebody dropped a new track overnight while I was sleeping. And I was the first thing I did was ran to social media to check to see the different hip hop sources and outlets to see if anything dropped. But nothing dropped last night. But I'm still gonna be on watch today to see if anything comes out. But well, actually, something did come out last night. Metro Boomin did come out with remember how Drake said "shut your ass up and make some drums." He actually
Yeah.
he actually made a beat yesterday and put it out there called BBL Drizzy, and he's asking for fans to rap over it and to send in their a submission on that beat. So that's another wrinkle. This is how I guess Metro is trying to throw his retaliation into the mix.
Yeah, but obviously the main course right now is between Kendrick and Drake. And Euphoria was rough enough. Euphoria was dope. I wouldn't say it's my favorite so far, but Euphoria was dope, especially the latter part of it.
Yeah, man, Euphoria was a dope track. I liked how he made fun of him with saying that he couldn't use the N word anymore. I thought that was hilarious because then now every time Drake says it, it's gonna make you kind of question him or make it seem a little kind of awkward when he uses that word. So
Yeah, also questioning his blackness,
yeah,
saying like how many dudes you have to collaborate to feel like you're black enough.
yeah. So that wasn't a good look. Yeah, there was a lot of gems in this track, and it sounds like Kendrick was kind of like walking him to his walking him into destruction, into a fire, because he kind of said like he kind of foreshadowed what he was gonna do later on in the week. He's like, "Don't bring your family into this," or that might have been the other song, but he was like basically warning him with this Euphoria track, and and we'll see what happened later on this week. But definitely sound like it was just baiting Drake because Drake was asking and asking and asking, begging for Kendrick to drop because it seemed like Drake had some kind of song in the chamber. But from what I think Kendrick was just recording during that whole time when people were saying, "Oh, when is Kendrick going to drop?" I think Kendrick was just recording tracks.
Yeah, he probably had all of these on standby more than likely.
Yeah, he just had them on standby and like just waiting. Like, because that's a good strategy though. Thinking about it like that is okay, he thinks I'm just gonna come back. I guess the thought of Kendrick Lamar, people think that it takes forever for him to put songs together. He disappears for years, and then he doesn't really do features or whatnot. So people thought he was gonna go away for a few months and then come back. But it looks like during those couple weeks, he was just recording songs and songs and songs, and then he was just waiting for the right time to start putting them out. And I don't know if Drake has anything else left to the caliber of the Family Matters track that he dropped. So man, I don't know, man. I feel like Drake got outsmarted with this tactic by Kendrick. I think he's his own medicine against him.
Hey, but I will say this: I'll give Drake props for Family Matters. Family Matters, he went hard on, or especially that part about asking Kendrick like if hitting his girl is self defense because she's bigger than him, and also about like Kendrick's
Yeah,
girl
that
also
was a funny
always looking
line.
unhappy. And also about how like Kendrick calls himself the Black Messiah, but yeah, he married a mixed woman, and he's not even married to her at that, and they've been engaged for however many years. Yeah, Drake went hard on that. I have to give him credit. Like I know we've been critical of him on this show over the last few months, but I have to give credit where it's due. Family Matters was solid. I like to shout out to the original show too with the cover.
Yeah, yeah. Family Matters was definitely a good track. I just felt like just Kendrick kind of stepped on it with his releases, the two releases right after that. So that song didn't really get a chance to, to like to breathe or to make, yeah, to make a lot of noise because Kendrick stomped on that momentum. But yeah, definitely was a great track. I like the way that he went out. ASAP Rocky, he had a nasty bar and went out ASAP Rocky and said like, yeah, you hit my baby mom first, but if you do the math, who was I hitting back then? Which basically referring that he was smashing Rihanna at that time. So yeah, that was he definitely went in, did his thing on Family Matters, and he kind of previewed it in the last song that he dropped in Push Ups. Like towards the end, he kind of previewed his song, so I kind of knew that he had something in the works. And yeah, man, like he dropped it, and yeah, I felt like it would have done well. He dropped a video with it too, but like as we know, Kendrick dropped that same night, 15 minutes, after that song dropped. So it wasn't really didn't really get a chance to like really, make noise like that. But we still got to talk about 616. 616 was a dope track, and there's a lot of like a lot of metaphors and a lot of things going on with the track title and also within the song itself.
Yeah, because 616 is basically the day that Father's Day is going to be on this year. And also, 616 was the day that the show Euphoria dropped, which Drake is an executive producer on.
It's also Pac's birthday and
Yes, it is.
Canadian Father's Day as well. So there's a
Well, it's
lot of
American Father's Day this year, too.
yeah, and I remember when Drake asked Kendrick, when you come out, you better come out with some quadruple entendres, and, and like, it's funny. Kendrick actually responded and did exactly what Drake asked him to do. And yeah, there's a lot of metaphors in this track. The sample is a sample from a song from Al Green, which Drake's uncle actually worked on that song. So that's another part of this song that was interesting
Oh,
that he
wait a
got
minute, wait
he
a
got that
minute.
sample.
You know what? You know what movie I heard that song from the first time? The sample he used?
Which movie? The Presidents or
The
something like that?
Wood.
The
No,
Wood?
no, The Wood. Remember the wedding scene?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I've been so many places, seen so many things. Yeah, that shit. Yeah, they played it at the wedding. Yeah, that's the first time I heard that song. My greatest inspiration. It's called My Greatest Inspiration.
I don't think that's the same song. It's not called My Greatest Inspiration. It's called something else.
No, but I know I heard that sample in the beginning of it. In the beginning of it, I know I recognize that instrumental by heart.
Oh yeah. So yeah, man, that was another one. He questions his fatherhood. Well, that was Euphoria, right? That was the one when he says he don't know about nothing about.
Yeah, it started in Euphoria. Like, yeah, where he says being a good dad, don't know nothing about that, and keeps going on and on about it. Yeah, it basically exposed Drake as a deadbeat dad, which I guess some of us could have maybe seen coming.
Yeah, yeah, it just makes Drake, doesn't make Drake look good. Makes it seem like because I was the thing is that Kendrick looks like he's like taking a lot of the talking points away from Drake. Kendrick has been really like mysterious. He's not really out there like that. He's really private. Doesn't put too much information out there for people to consume. And it seems like Drake kind of ran with the last Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers album. The content that was on that album kind of ran with that and kind of like called Kendrick short or whatnot. But just the way that Kendrick, responded, it's just like, yeah, he just hitting them on like so many different levels to get back with him. And yeah, it's just dope to see how this is unfolding and to see, both of their creativity, come to light. But it's just a dope battle in my eyes.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's been fun. It's been entertaining to listen to. It definitely gives you something to listen to like consistently. But there are some haters of it saying that it's going too far, it's getting too personal, and if you need to like resort to these kind of personal digs during a rap battle, then you don't have enough skill and you can't really hold up the right way. I disagree with that 100% because the reason why, in my opinion, a good diss should be a character assassination to the point where you diss that person just says to themselves, how the fuck can I come back from this? And also, in addition to that, where the people who listen to the diss say about the person being dissed, I don't think I like this person anymore. That's how I felt about Jay Z after Ether. Like after listening to Ether, I said, damn, I don't think I like Jay Z anymore. I don't think I could be a fan of Jay Z anymore. And most recently, the diss that Party did to Megan Thee Stallion talking about her. Like after listening to that, I said, damn, I don't think I like Megan Thee Stallion anymore. Ugh. Like this should be that good, that personal, and fucking hit you that hard where the other person just literally can't say anything back.
Yeah, I think it's getting to that point, and I think with a diss track, the whole point of it is you want it to be disrespectful. I don't think it needs to be like a club song or a song that people are going to listen to on the radio. It needs to be
No.
disrespectful. It needs to be in your face. It needs to be aggressive, and you got to say something that's going to strike a nerve with your with your opponent. And you want also fans and people who are engaging with it to kind of look at your opponent in a different light. And I feel like Kendrick is doing a good job of making people question Drake and question, his whole career, the different antics that he's done. He's doing a good job of making people question Drake as a person, not as an artist. We know he's one of the best artists, and he's held it down for over the last 15 years as at the top. But he definitely Kendrick is doing a good job of painting a picture of Drake in a different way. Yeah, he Drake is coming at him with the short jokes and things like that, but that's not really like and saying that his wife
It's not
and saying his
personal.
wife has another kid with somebody else that Kendrick is raising. I don't believe that. I don't see any truth to that type of thing.
Or saying like I fucked your chick. I mean, ooh wee, you've never said that before.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't feel like the stuff that Drake is saying towards Kendrick, I don't think it's is hitting the same. And I feel like Kendrick's doing a good job of questioning his character and poking holes in everything about his persona and whatnot. So
Yeah, and like I said, what Kendrick's been doing has been the perfect strategy. His disses to Drake are character assassinations, where even I'm saying to myself, if I didn't like Drake before this, I definitely don't like him after this. Yeah, just calling him out for being like, yeah, deadbeat dad, a drug addict, paying for prostitutes, being a pedophile. Yeah, all of that stuff. Yeah, it's personal. And it's making all of us kind of question Drake and look at him differently. And with Meet the Grams, which personally is my favorite disc that Kendrick dropped so far, he's literally talking to Drake's son, his alleged daughter, and his parents saying like, yo, your father sucks. Yo, your son sucks. You raised a piece of shit. When you get older and you listen to this, you're gonna see your dad in a different light. Your dad should be there for you, but he's not doing the right things for you. That's personal. That's fucking really hitting somebody in the heart where like there's nothing they can really say, like whether it's a joke or whether it's like a little cheap shot that can match that. Yeah, that's why I feel like Kendrick's pretty much run away with this whole thing because especially with that disc was probably like the final nail in the coffin as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if there's anything Drake can say to match the personal disrespect that disc was.
yeah, that was the most disrespectful. I would say that would be the closest to in his battle so far, the most disrespectful one. This is like Kendrick kind of warned Drake in Euphoria and 616 not to come out the family, talk about family, and he started talking about his wife and saying that he has another kid, and this is Kendrick's way of retaliating. Like he warned him not to do it, he did it anyways, and then this is where Kendrick took it, and you can't be mad at him for doing that. This song was like really really disrespectful. I like the beat. Shouts out to Alchemist for producing the beat. Kind of reminded me of that Prodigy HNIC beat. I don't know if you remember that track from his Prodigy's debut album. Remember that song?
I've got to go back and listen to it, but go on.
Yeah, so Alchemist produced the beat, and Yeah, I just felt like it was a dark and grimy beat, and it kind of matched like the tone of like the type of track that Kendrick was putting out there was like a dark and just be kind of like it sounded like a horror story, like a horror movie, and just the way that he starts with Dear Adonis and going in about his dad and listen to this when you're 18 and then talking to his parents saying that you raised a deadbeat son and he's this and that, and then exposing his alleged other daughter that he has that he hasn't announced to the world, which is, I don't know if it's true or not. We haven't getting any confirmation on that yet, but still to put that out there a second time that Drake's lied about having a child doesn't make Drake look good at all. This track was very disrespectful, and it came right after the Family Matters track, and it kind of felt like it was kind of felt like Kendrick already had it uploaded, and all he had to do was just hit publish,
Oh, of course,
on
yeah.
YouTube for
There's no
it
way
to
he
come
wrote
out. I
all of
felt like it
that.
was already there.
Yeah, there's no way he wrote all of that in just 30 minutes. There's no way. No matter, I don't care how talented anybody is.
No, it was already ready. It was already done during that time. I think where he wasn't responding to Drake. I feel like he made that track and he just had it in the chamber ready for when Drake came retaliated. He's like, okay, I'm gonna shit on it. I'm gonna drop this right after to kind of squash that momentum. And the strategy worked perfectly. He baited Drake all week, and then Drake was like, okay, finally, I'm gonna drop. You dropped enough. I'm gonna drop my track that I've been holding in the chamber. And he got Drake to finally show his weapon. And then Kendrick was like, okay, I got something for you. He dropped the Meet the Grams. And yeah, I don't know, felt the way that song dropped, it felt like a not almost like a knockout blow. I don't think it really knocked him out, but it felt like really felt like it's really hard to come back from that type of a blow. And then to claim that he's a pedophile, he has another child, then to go at his family, and then this last one that dropped last night is kind of like people were saying that some of the Kendrick tracks you can't really play outside of the club or whatever. So he's like, I got something for you. He went and got DJ Mustard and put together a club banger, which They Not Like Us is probably like one of the catchiest songs that has come out of this whole battle so far. And it feels like Kendrick is like kind of like dancing on the grave. Like it feel like the battle's already done, like he's already dead, and he's like beating up a dead horse, like he's already done, and he's just like throwing more, more, I would say like insult to injury, I would say, with this last one, and he still doubled down on the pedophile bars. Yeah, and then he has the funny shit with the OV ho at the end, which was hilarious. So yeah, it was just a fun track, and I don't know how Drake could come back from those two tracks back to back. And I feel like he's lost a lot of momentum. And the song that Drake came back with was a great song, but it wasn't the ether, it wasn't a hit him up, it wasn't a takeover, it wasn't good enough to take the momentum away from Kendrick. And another thing before pass it back over to you is I feel like another thing that's messing up Drake right now is that he's going at everybody instead of focusing on one target at a time. He's going at The Weeknd, he's going at Kendrick, ASAP Rocky, Future, Metro Boomin. He's going at all of them. But Kendrick is keeping it only Drake. He's only talking about Drake. And Drake hasn't come out with one song that's only about Kendrick other than that Taylor Made thing that came out that got taken down.
Yeah, and even Drake on Family Matters was like accusing Kendrick of like calling Tupac a state to get the song taken down. Yeah, and calling him a bunch of other shit, which is cool, which is cute and all, but from these last two disses, especially the Meet the Grams, that shit's not gonna cut it, man. But the one thing is, it's not so much that Drake is going at everybody else. Everybody else is really going at him,
Yeah.
like from Rick Ross, Metro, Future, Weekend, ASAP Rocky, whoever else. Yeah, like I said a few weeks ago, it feels like it's Drake versus the world. And when that many people are beefing with you, when that many people are dissing you, there may be something to it. Because you can't have that many falling outs and beef with that many people just for no reason and with it to be all of their fault as opposed to you not playing some kind of role in it.
Yeah, I've heard that, he got some kind of deal where he owns a big portion of like the industry, and he has a lot of artists publishing and makes money off of them. I don't know, that's what some people are saying, but I don't think it's that. I think it has to be something deeper that he did, or he stole something, or I don't know what he did, man. I don't know what it is because they haven't really said anything. Metro's kind of alluded to something saying that he knows what he did, but I'm not gonna put him out there and make him look like that. So I don't know. It's something that he did that's pissed everybody off to this point where I don't think it's over a girl. I don't think it's him like gaining access to all of their masters and publishing, because I don't think that would be, enough for to make people come at him in this way, and for Kendrick to come out with multiple songs going at him in like this. Like I don't know, it has to be something bigger than that. It has to be something, bigger than hip hop. That the reason why they're going after him like this. It has to be. I find it hard to believe that everybody's going after him over a female. I don't believe that at all.
Or maybe they just don't like him. Like they don't like his behavior. They don't like the way he acts or any other of that jazz. Or maybe they're just turned off by his music. Yeah, it could be anything.
I don't think it's music. I don't think it's jealousy. Like, yeah, everybody wants to be the top dog, but I don't think they would all come together like this. Like Voltron or like fucking Power Rangers or something to come after Drake or like the Avengers and shit. That's kind of like it feels like. It feels like Drake is like Thanos, and then everybody else is like Thor and fucking Iron Man, and everybody else is
Captain
is,
America.
is, is Captain America, all tagging, coming together to take down Drake. So it must be something, man. Like I don't know. Ever since Cat Williams came out with that interview, man, everybody's been on some different type of energy, exposing the real from the fake. So I don't know. I just let this play out a little bit longer, but hopefully we get some type of answer of what caused this beef in the first place. I don't think it's that control verse. I don't think it's the subs, going back and forth throughout the years. I think it's something personal, and I feel like they haven't let the cat out the bag yet.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. But until then, I'm looking forward to seeing whatever disses continue to come out and whether or not Drake can respond.
Before we move on, let's double check to make sure nothing else came out that we got to listen to right now. So let me double check. Think we're good, man. Let me just double check Kendrick and Drake's YouTube page, because that's what's been happening lately.
Yeah, it's funny, but not like us. Kendrick was mentioning the fact that Drake like just comes to Atlanta to take people's money and to like give himself street cred. He said, "You're not a colleague, you're a colonizer." Yeah, that line hit hard.
Yeah, that was a tough one. And he also said that yeah, he's conniving because he smashed Lil Wayne's girl while he
I
was
heard about
locked
that
up,
before, though. Yeah, I did hear about that.
which is true. And there's also video online where somebody asked Lil Wayne about it, and then he admitted it, and you could tell that he was kind of sad or upset about it, some type of way. And he's even rapped
Yeah,
about it in
bro.
that song 6 foot 7 foot. Remember when he says something about a girl named Tammy, but hoes gonna be
So I
hoes.
couldn't blame Tammy.
Yeah, that's the girl that he's talking about. Her name is Tammy Rivera. I remember her. That was his girl like before he got locked up.
Yeah, bro. After everything Lil Wayne did for him, after Lil Wayne pretty much like put him on and like pretty much gave him the platform that he has now, yo, really, he's gonna pull that kind of shit?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like it just things like that that make you kind of not respect him.
Yeah, the only thing that Drake has come out with is the whole angle of talking about his wife, him and his wife not being together, and his wife maybe have another kid with somebody else, and he's raising them, but that hasn't been proven. And the thing with Kendrick, other than the child, him about Drake having another child, everything there's some type of evidence or there's something there that kind of backs up what Kendrick is saying. Like there's videos of Drake touching a 17-year-old. There's tweets of him saying that he was happy that Billie Eilish was turning 18, and there's been other things of him like keeping in touch with other people in the industry, when they're at 14 years old and younger, and kind of like talking to them as they're growing up, which is kind of weird. If I had a daughter and she was 14, I wouldn't want her to talk to anybody who's over 18. So I don't know, shit like that feels kind of weird to me. So things will play itself out in due time. But yeah, definitely when you compare like what they're calling each other out, there's a lot of serious allegations on coming towards Drake, and there's proof to kind of back up somewhat. Other than the baby stuff, there's kind of stuff to back up what Kendrick is saying. There's not too much to back up what Drake is saying towards Kendrick Lamar.
And also, nobody's really coming to Drake's defense from his own crew, like Lil Wayne or Nicki Minaj. Yeah, none of them are like kind of like really jumping in on this and having his back. Like, let's say back in the day with the D Block and G Unit beef, they all jumped in there. And also the beef with Jay Z and Nas. Rockefeller jumped up in there. most beefs like back in the day, like everybody's crews would like jump in and be in the middle of it too. But with this situation, Drake is all on his own.
But that's the thing. This shows you that Drake has alienated himself. Because if you look at Drake right over the last few years, who would you think would be his allies? 21 Savage, Rick Ross, Future, and I would say maybe Lil
J. Cole,
Baby,
I guess.
Lil Baby and J Cole, right? But
Yeah.
J Cole tapped out as soon as possible. He came up with that one song and was like, I'm done. I see where this is going." Or he found out what was going on with Kendrick's camp, and he's like, "I want no parts of this. It's gonna get ugly." So J Cole is looking better for Jake. That J Cole tapped out early. It's looking better for him as the days go by. It looks like his decision was the right one. But 21 Savage hasn't said anything. Rick Ross is on the other side now. Little Baby hasn't said anything. You know what I'm saying? Young Thug is locked up, who who was cool with. So nobody's really coming to Drake's defense. I know he doesn't really have guys in his crew other than like that. Because I know Wayne is like his manager and Nicki's like another artist on his label. But nobody in his crew is really, or that he's worked with over the last few years, is coming to his defense and saying, "Nah, that's not Drake. He's really like this," or "When I've been with him, he's this way." Nobody's really saying that. And more and more people are ganging up towards Drake. So there has to be something, man. There has to be something there.
Yeah, like we talked about on the show many times, where there is smoke, there is fire, and there is a lot of smoke to be found around here.
Yeah, man. So it's definitely a great time in hip hop. I hope if people are following along, it's definitely, made me, love hip hop even more. It's been a great battle. We haven't had a battle like this in forever. So I just hope that it stays on wax. I hope we can get some more good music out of this. And if there's something to expose, let's expose it, man. This is 2024. Everybody's getting exposed left and right. So if he is, what Kendrick's saying he is, let's see some proof. Because at the very least, people are starting to look at Drake in a different light from this battle. Because he hasn't addressed the pedophile stuff at all. He hasn't said anything about it. He hasn't denied it. Most people, if they come out with some type of allegation, they would at least say, "Nah, that's not true." The only thing he's saying so far that's not true is the daughter stuff that Drake has responded to. He hasn't
Yeah.
responded to anything about the pedophile stuff. Interesting, just interesting. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But definitely a great time to be a hip hop fan, no matter what side you're on.
Yeah, even without this, it's always a good time to be a hip hop head, but this shit is definitely adding a lot more spice to the pot, and I'm all here for it.
Yeah, definitely much needed. I think this will take us back. I think this is like a battle between, like the real hip hop versus the fake and the fraud. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting from this too. Like the all about the culture hip hop, like the real, like authentic hip hop against the commercial, evil, empire, superficial bullshit hip hop. That's exactly the vibe I get from
Yeah,
all this.
ghostwriters, people snatching cultures and taking bits and pieces,
Yeah,
from different
promoting
areas.
toxic lifestyles, promoting toxic bullshit against the lifestyle of performing positivity and promoting, doing right by people and actually handling your responsibilities as an adult.
Yeah. And if you look at Drake's music, his music hasn't matured. It sounds like he makes music for like kids, like people. I would say not kids, but like for teenagers or young adults. But he's almost 40. Like his music hasn't evolved through the years, or he's not talking about different subjects. Like if you look at other artists, Kendrick, J. Cole, like when there's something going on like in the world, when it comes to black community, even LeBron, they speak up on those topics. Drake has the most power for the last 15 years and hasn't spoken up on any type of black issues. I would think that he would, speak up on some of those issues, just like LeBron and somebody, some of the other figures in our community. But he just hasn't. Not saying that he has to, but he hasn't. And even with this whole Israel, Palestine stuff, he hasn't spoken about that either. So, and he just likes to make music like that promotes toxic behavior, and it's like kind of like music that it's kind of like I would say for like an immature or like a younger person, not somebody who's almost 40 years old, the type of music that he makes. Listen to the type of music that like Nas makes or like Jay-Z's making, in their 30s and 40s.
Yeah, he does songs with Sexy Red.
Yeah, and it feels like when there's always a new artist that are coming out, he always gravitates to them. Like when Lil Baby first came out, he did the same thing. When there was somebody else.
When Kendrick first came out, he collaborated with Kendrick
Yeah,
on Good
Kendrick.
Kid,
He did
Mad
that
City
too.
on the Poetic Justice
When the
shit.
Migos first came out, that Versace song, he came in and jumped on the song with the Migos.
And Drake and J. Cole's first album, the Cole's World shit, he was on in the morning. He was on that shit.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I just feel I don't know what's going on, but I don't know. Just I feel like this is gonna expose a lot of stuff, and we'll see how it plays out. But Drake, I don't know what do you think he does from here? Does he respond at this point? Does he just let it go, or does he come back with one song and disappear, or like how does he handle it from here? What do you think
I
is
think
the
he
best?
I think next he posts a picture of himself with his son talking about how he's spending quality time with him and how he's a good dad to kind of try to save face. And then next he's going to post another picture of himself in a dashiki talking about black power. That's what he's going to try to do to save himself.
Nah, I think it's not gonna work, man. He's gonna have to come out.
Nah, but like the way you describe Drake, Drake is kind of like the hip hop version of OJ. Because remember how like when OJ was alive and when he was like playing, they would criticize him for like not speaking up on black issues and like not identifying as being black or like a part of the culture. So like now that you
Mhm.
described it that way, that's kind of the vibe I get from Drake too.
That kind of makes sense too, because remember when Pusha T came out with the story of Adidon? It was on that
Yes.
that Jay Z OJ beat. Yeah, so if you go and do if you look back, man, it doesn't paint him. There's a lot of receipts that don't paint Drake in the greatest of light. I'm surprised that he got away with it for this long, but it looks like everybody's fed up. He ruffled too many feathers, and now he's gonna have to pay for it. But I don't know what he does from here. I think he
Yeah.
has to come out with some type of retaliation, and he has to just bow out, don't respond anymore. After that,
Yeah, I don't know what he does from here. And if that stuff comes out about him and if it turns out to be true, I don't know how he saves face if he even can. But yeah, it's not looking good for Mr. Drake right now, but I can't really say I feel sorry for him.
he still has a core fan base that still going to rock with him no matter what. But
Oh yeah, they definitely will.
as far as real hip hop heads, they definitely looking at him in a different light. And if this pedophile stuff is legit, like if they're saying he's like the Harvey Weinstein of hip hop, if he's worse than Drake, I mean worse than Diddy, is for all these allegations, then he deserves to be taken down, and he deserves to be, face the consequences of his actions. So I really hope that's not true, but just like with Diddy, like if it's true that they gotta serve consequences, and it's not a good look. You can't be doing that to to women. Another thing that's interesting to me is he's always had Tory Lanez's back in this whole Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion situation.
Well, he's not the only one. He's not the only one, but
I
go
know, but
on.
he's one of the main people talking about Tory Lanez, and he's always like saying something slick about Megan Thee Stallion. So I don't know if this is what it is. Maybe maybe that's part of it. Maybe that the people in the industry, because Drake. I mean, if you heard that other song, Future talks about Meg Thee Stallion. He says "thick like Meg Thee Stallion" in one of these diss tracks. I think it's like that, or it might be one of the other songs. And then Meg Thee Stallion had in that song, she had a line for Drake in that song. So I don't know. That's kind of where I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out the pieces of the puzzle, but it might have something to do with Tory Lanez. That might be part of it also. Tory Lanez making a Stallion situation, because I remember vividly that
Yeah, it
Drake
could
was one
be.
of the main ones, like co-signing Tory Lanez and saying that Megan Thee Stallion is like lying, insinuating that. So maybe that could play a part of it. Maybe that the Future and them rock with Megan Thee Stallion, and they don't rock with Drake like that, because he's trying to paint it a different way, trying to cause doubt in people's minds about what really happened. I don't know, just my 2 cents, but there's a lot of theories that are out there.
Yeah, a lot of theories that are out there, and at the rate we're going, a lot of diss tracks that'll be out there for us to jam to.
Yes, sir. So we'll see.
Let's get into our next topic of the day. As it came out earlier this week, that there's going to be a Cash Money reunion this coming summer at the Essence Music Festival. And Baby posted it on his Instagram on Thursday, and Essence confirmed it. So, yes, it is going down. It's going to be happening July 4th weekend from the 5th to the 7th. It hasn't said which artists are going to be a part of it, but from what Baby posted and the way it's seeming like so far, it's going to be like all the all stars, like all the heavy hitters, and it's going to be like their first real big reunion in I don't know how long, however many years. And it's the perfect setting considering that it's going to be in New Orleans. So, yo, it's a good look. If they can get all those people together for that festival, yo, I would want to go to that shit.
Yeah, that sounds pretty dope, man. I'm glad that that's gonna finally happen now that BG's out, out on out from jail or whatnot. So yeah, man, hopefully that they can all actually, come together. I know they've been talking about it, but it would be dope to see Juvenile, BG, Lil Wayne, Turk, and all of them, Manny Fresh, Baby, all of them together on the same stage and to run through their classics. So that would be a dope time, And Essence Fest has been one of the best festivals that we've had in our community in the industry over the last few years, and a lot of big artists have performed at the Essence Fest. So that would be dope for them to do it in their own backyard in Louisiana, where they made their name for themselves and where they started out, and for them to to go back home and to get together. Hopefully they can come together for this moment, do the concert and maybe make some music from there. So that would be dope. Yeah, shouts out to them for trying to bury the hatchet of whatever issues they had in the past and coming together to make the fans happy and give them what they want. So shouts out to them.
Yeah, that's just gonna be remarkable if they can really get all those cats like back together for that. I can imagine how epic it would be to be a part of that in that big ass stadium in that setting, bro. That shit would be history.
Yeah, that'll be a good look, man. So shouts out to Cash Money, definitely one of the biggest crews ever in the '90s and 2000s, and one of the biggest hip hop groups of all time, man. The record label and all the albums that came out from them, solo and as groups, just a dope time. They definitely influenced the game in a lot of different ways.
Yes, from Cash Money to Lil Wayne's solo career to Drake to Nicki Minaj. Yeah, they definitely left a mark in this game over the last 3 decades or so, and it's gonna be great to see them celebrated on that big of a stage. I
Yeah,
fucks with it.
yeah, it'll definitely be a dope time.
And also, the lineup for Summer Jam came out this past weekend. It's going to be taking place on June 2nd at the UBS Arena in Long Island, which is an interesting location. But in any event, yes, it's going to be happening there. And some of the featured acts there are going to be Doja Cat, Sexy Red, French Montana, DeVito, Lola Brooke, Cash Cobain, Baby Swag, Honey Baby, Ty Dolla Sign, also Sleepy Hollow, among a bunch of others. And also, one thing I'm going to like about the Summer Jam lineup is the tribute they're going to be doing for Mr. C, which is going to feature Big Daddy Kane, Jadakiss, EPMD, Eric B. and Rakim, Method Man and Redman, and Lord Tariq and Peter Guns.
That sounds pretty dope, man. That
Oh,
definitely.
fuck
I'm
yeah. That
excited.
sounds great.
Yeah, man. So shouts out to Hot 97, man. I know they've been putting these summer jams on together, for decades. And I know it's tough to get like a good lineup every year to make everybody happy, but they're trying to do the best to kind of make like the new artists happy, I mean the like younger fans happy, and also like the old school hip hop heads as well. So RIP to Mr. C. We didn't get a chance to talk about him on the last one of the last episodes, but definitely a big loss in hip hop. It was Biggie's DJ, and he was a regular on Hot 97 throughout the years, doing mixes and putting on for a lot of artists. So definitely a legend that was gone too soon, and definitely helped Biggie make a name for himself, during his time. So definitely a big loss in our community, and it's dope that Hot 97 is going to pay tribute to him with some heavy hitters. Jadakiss, you already know how he gets down. EPMD, they haven't done much. Eric B and Rakim, I thought they had some issues still, but I guess they buried the hatchet. And then Red and Meth, you already know how they're gonna do. And then Lord Tariq and Peter Guns, I'm sure they're gonna do their Uptown Baby. So that's definitely gonna
Hey,
be a.
wait a minute, bro. Bro, wait a minute. You're forgetting about Big Daddy Kane. You
Oh
have
yeah, I
some
didn't even.
respect.
My bad. I just overlooked his name on there, but yeah, definitely.
Yo, and Big Daddy Kane is known for being a great performer. Just like Method Man and Redman, Busta Rhymes, Big Daddy Kane is a known incredible performer on stage. So I would go just for that. I would want to go to Summer Jam just for that tribute alone. That and also Doja Cat. Those would be the two main things I would want to go for.
Yeah, so my bad. Definitely forgot about. I overlooked Big Daddy Kane's name, but yeah, definitely he's gonna put on a dope performance. He still looks like he still got it. Still got that same energy that he had when he was at his peak. So shouts out to him. Yeah, looks like they got some good like young up and comers. as well. They got French Montana, like you said, Doja Cat and Friends. I'm surprised to see who she's gonna bring out for her performance. Maybe Nicki Minaj. I wouldn't be surprised she comes out.
Or Giant Dick.
Well, yeah, we'll see. But I see that they got some new artists that are making a lot of noise. Cash Cobain has that new song called "For Sure." That's pretty dope. Is making a lot of noise. That's a pretty dope track. And then 41 with Kyle Rich, Jen Carter, and Tata. They're making a lot of noise in the drill music scene. So they've been doing their thing. So shouts out to them, man. And Sleepy Hollow also making a name. He's like up and coming like New York, New Jersey artists that are have like a different sound. So shouts out to them. But yeah, definitely like a nice mix of like the new and the old school and the up north. So yeah, shouts out to them.
Yeah, it sounds like a good blend of talent. I would definitely be down to go. And who knows, we might get another takeover at Summer Jam this year from somebody. You never know. Maybe Doja Cat might go with Megan Thee Stallion.
Now you never know. Or she might bring Nicki Minaj. You don't know who she's gonna bring out. I don't really know what artist she does songs with.
Collaborations with.
Yeah, I know she did a song recently with ASAP Rocky. So we'll see. Be interesting to see who she brings out.
Maybe Kendrick will make a cameo, like a surprise cameo, and drop another diss to Drake.
We'll see.
Obviously, the most memorable Summer Jam performance we know of is the Jay-Z performance from 2001, where he did Take Over and took the shots at Nas and took the shots at Prodigy. But I think they started probably cracking down on that kind of stuff afterwards, because I think like the next year Nas wanted to do Ether and they wouldn't let him do it.
Yeah, that's why he had beef with them for a while. Remember when he had
Makes
that
sense.
rant? That's why he called into it was Power 105 in New York, which is the other station. Hot 97 has always been like the staple. But this one, Power 105 wasn't like established like that yet. And Nas called up over there and then was going in on Cameron and Nori and then he had a rant against Hot 97 and everybody. So yeah, definitely want a legendary rant from Nas.
Yeah, bees like that. But the Summer Jam looks dope. I would definitely love to be there, but it is what it is. UBS Arena is kind of an interesting setting for it. That place in Long Island. Because I remember they used to do it at Giant Stadium or MetLife Stadium, but I guess they downgraded it a little bit.
Yeah, I guess that maybe it's too expensive to rent it out.
MetLife Stadium's a mission anyway, so that also I can understand why they wouldn't want to go there.
Maybe it's a little bit easier to get to or whatnot. Maybe the parking situation is better.
Yeah, MetLife Stadium is a night. Like to leave MetLife Stadium is a nightmare.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. They probably don't want people after the the show's over to to get together like in the parking lot. A lot of crazy stuff can happen, fights or
Speaking of fights, did you see that fight that Jim Jones got into at the airport?
yeah. I saw a video at Fort Lauderdale Airport. That was funny.
That was Fort Lauderdale Airport.
That was Fort Lauderdale Airport, bro.
Oh shit! I was literally just there a month ago.
Hey, he flies out of Fort Lauderdale all the time.
I mean, I don't follow the guy like that, but damn, like he literally threw the dude down the escalator. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, he's too old to be doing shit like that. Like I don't know what the issue was, but come on, you're old. You're too old for that. He's over 40 to be doing shit like that.
Yeah, that's the thing with him. That's the vibe I've always gotten from him is that like, yeah, he still acts like, he's still, like a teenager, like in his early 20s, still living in Harlem. Yeah, he's like one of those dudes that doesn't feel like he grew up.
Yeah.
But that's another story for another time. But let's get into some of our anniversaries real fast, as this past week marked the 32-year anniversary of the infamous LA riots, which were sparked from the acquittal of all the police officers that beat down Rodney King the year before. And yes, that acquittal was very, very upsetting to hear. Yeah, and as a result of that announcement and as a result of that news, people were so pissed off and so enraged that they pretty much tore LA the fuck down. The LA riots lasted about 6 days total, with the worst days being the first two, and it led to 63 people dying and over $1 billion in damages.
Yeah, that shit was wild, man. That was like the first, like, no, not the first, but that was like a monumental time. Like people were not happy with how those cops got off, and yeah, it was clear as day what they were doing to Rodney King, and they still got off with all that video evidence and proof to show what they actually did. And yeah, people were fed up; they weren't having it, and they just took over the city and started destroying everything. And yeah, it was just a wild time. How long did the riots last for?
They lasted a total of 6 days, but the first two
Yeah,
days were the worst of it.
yeah, they were looting, they were lighting stuff on fire, beating people up. Like it was bad, man. But people can only take seeing stuff like that for so long, and the LA LAPD's always had some like griminess to them or some kind of like things that they do that weren't right. So people kind of felt the way, and that they felt like that was the perfect time for them to kind of retaliate against them because like they were just fed up and they saw enough. I felt like like what's going on? Like there's video evidence showing that you guys are beating this dude to a bloody pulp, beating the shit out of him, but then they still get off. They're found out guilty. I don't understand how that happens.
Yeah, the thing is, it went far beyond the Rodney King beating. That shit had been happening for years, especially if you listen to NWA's music back then. Yeah, that shit had been going on for a long time. And that incident with Rodney King kind of felt like there was finally going to be some justice because they finally got caught on tape. And then when all that happened and they still got acquitted, it was like the biggest fuck you to the black community, especially the black community out there. And I don't condone the way they retaliated. I don't condone a lot of the shit that went down in the riots, but I can definitely see the frustration that they had that may have led to that.
Yeah, man, you can always play with people for so long, and that I don't know that's a situation that kind of play with people in front of their face. Like it just wasn't a good look, and it just shows you how bad like our system is, our court systems are. It's not what's right and wrong. It's like if you have the money or if you have the power, you can get away with it. That's what it showed me with that trial.
I remember Easy E during the time said that when NWA made the song Fuck the Police, everybody thought they were crazy. Everybody was shitting on them, criticizing them for it. But then when the Rodney King beating happened and then all this took place, they didn't think they were so crazy anymore.
Yeah, man. So yeah, just a sad time, man. It just wasn't a good time. It wasn't fun to see like people getting beat up and like innocent people getting beat up, because at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, that wasn't cool. There was like a bunch of incidents where like these like random white dudes were be driving through those neighborhoods in like a pickup truck or something, and then the looters would like pull them out of the pickup truck and then just beat the shit out of them and like bloody them up for
Yeah,
no reason. Yeah, that shit's not right. The Rodney King verdict is fucked up, and all the other shit that was happening before that was also fucked up. But stuff like that does not make you look any better.
yeah. It's one thing to like loot a store, like break into a store and take stuff, but when you're hurting somebody, and I think that dude you're talking about, his name was Reginald Denny or something like that, and I felt like that it really fucked him up. Like he had to get surgery or some shit, or he was like in critical condition.
Yeah, that shit's not right. That dude had nothing to do with the Rodney King situation. That shit's wrong, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just a black eye on the country's history, and it felt like we still haven't learned. We haven't gotten too far from that instance. Like things haven't really changed too much. People, video evidence are still getting off cops on certain cases. So
Or at least we got the cops for George Floyd convicted. At least that happened.
yeah, at least that happened. But that was one out of how many other stories that have come out over the years.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, LA was just a wild place, especially back then. And pretty much if you listen to that whole Chronic album from Dr. Dre, it's very rooted in what was going on in LA, like in that period of time, like literally like during those riots and all that fucking chaos. Hell, that movie Falling Down with Michael Douglas that I fucking love. They even had to shut down production because of the riots going on at the time.
Yeah, it was wild, man. I'm sure people didn't feel safe because random people were getting their ass whooped. So yeah, it was a lot going on.
Yeah, crazy times in this country, and yes, definitely a black eye on this country, and definitely a time I won't ever forget. I know I wasn't like really old enough to remember it. I was only 6 years old at the time, but just learning about it and seeing the footage of it, yeah, it's some disturbing ass shit and some shit that I will always remember, for better or worse.
Yeah, definitely, me too.
So let's move on to more of a lighthearted anniversary. We're going to fast forward to 6 years later. On April 30th, 1998, during Game 4 of the Eastern Conference first round matchup between the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks, as it's coming down to the last few seconds, Alonzo Mourning of the Miami Heat and Larry Johnson of the New York Knicks are guarding each other. And as they're kind of getting wound up and as they're kind of getting tied into each other, Alonzo Mourning starts throwing punches at Larry Johnson, and Larry Johnson starts throwing punches at him back. It's a whole scuffle. It's a whole melee. And it gets to the point where Jeff Van Gundy, the coach of the Knicks at the time, gets into it, and he's literally hanging onto Alonzo Mourning's leg. I think I heard Alonzo Mourning describe it as like a booger hanging from his nose.
Yeah, that shit was wild. It was a funny ass fight. And yeah, man, just I don't know what Jeff Van Gundy was thinking to try to get in the middle of that. But it was just hilarious, and that's something like every time you see that fight, it just brings you back to that time, and just it was just a funny moment in sports history. And I don't know, I've never seen anything like that. A coach jumping out on the court like that. That's funny.
I remember like watching the footage. You could hear the announcer say, "Wow, it's a good thing these two can't fight."
Yeah, because they were swinging and missing. Nobody connected on anything.
I think maybe Alonzo touched Larry Johnson's shoulder briefly, but yeah, none of those punches connected to the face at all.
Yeah, stick to basketball. They could definitely play ball, but when it comes to fighting, I don't think NBA players are too good at that. So they should stick to their profession because yeah, definitely they don't know what the hell they're doing when it comes to brawling.
Well, I don't know about all that. There's certain players I wouldn't want to fuck with, like Ron Artest being one example. Not to mention the Bad Boy Pistons. I wouldn't have wanted to fuck with them either.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to
Yeah, I
mess with
wouldn't say
them.
all NBA players.
But as far as that time in basketball, man, players didn't know how to fight, man. They didn't know what they were doing. They're all over the place.
Wasn't that like the toughest era of the NBA? That '90s period wasn't like that kind of like the toughest era where like everybody was always hitting you hard, fouling you hard, and knocking you down. Wasn't that kind of like that era of
Yeah,
all that?
that was physical play, but in terms of fighting, like if you like fighting like in like a boxing match or something like that, they didn't know what to do. There was so many brawls back then when they were fighting and nobody connected anything. So yeah, it was just funny.
I think that fight maybe the year before might have been crazier. The one when the dude got like hip tossed and everybody got into it and pretty much everyone got
Oh
suspended
yeah, that
for like
year.
at least one game apiece.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, the '97. Yeah, '97 playoffs.
Yeah, the Heat and Knicks, they had a lot of animosity between each other. It felt like every year they played themselves in the play each other in the playoffs.
Yeah, they played each other in the playoffs 4 straight years from '97 to 2000.
Yeah,
In fact, the last time the Knicks advanced to the conference finals, they beat the Heat to advance in the 2000 playoffs.
yeah. So they played each other a lot. So if you play the same team over and over, and you got to go through them every year to get to where you want to be, as far as like the finals and whatnot, you're definitely gonna build up some animosity, and it's became a rivalry, and it became one of the best rivalries at that time. Like those years, that was definitely like the go-to series that people wanted to watch.
Yeah, in the '90s, the Knicks had three main rivals. In the early '90s, they had the Bulls. In the mid '90s, they had the Pacers, and in the late '90s, they had the Heat.
The Heat, yeah. So yeah, definitely it was a great time for ball.
And it was also personal because Pat Riley used to coach the Knicks and then he left to coach the Heat. And Larry Johnson and also Alonzo Mourning used to be teammates in Charlotte, and apparently they didn't get along back then. So yeah, there was a lot of personal shit and a lot of bad blood
Yeah,
between both of them. And yeah, it definitely spilled into what you saw in every game.
yeah, and it made for a great series though. All those series were great.
Yes, but the Knicks would go on to win that series in '98 with that fight, and Alonzo Mourning and Johnson would obviously miss that game, and the Knicks would beat the Heat in the playoffs the next 2 years after that.
Yes, sir. Shouts out to the Knicks.
Yeah, shout out to the Knicks. And let's get into our next anniversary, basketball related. The very next day, on May 1st, 1998, we had the release of the Spike Lee joint, the basketball classic, He Got Game. Starring Denzel Washington, one of the best actors of all time, not just best black actors, but best actors, period. And also NBA legend Ray Allen, who I personally thought did a great job in his performance in this movie. For a basketball player, for somebody who wasn't a trained actor, I thought he killed it personally.
Yeah, I think he did his thing in that movie. That was really good because he wasn't even really in the NBA like that, was he? At that time, he might have been like a rookie or something like that.
When He Got Game came out, he was in his second season. '98 was his second season in the league.
Yeah, so after his rookie year. So yeah, he definitely did his thing, man. Seemed comfortable, in the scenes. And there was a lot of cameos. Rick Fox was in it. A lot of other NBA players were in the movie as well. And yeah, he definitely did his thing. It was a dope story. How his dad tried to come back, was locked up and tried to come back into his life and help him out. Where they try to like get him out of prison so he can help out his son to pick a certain school. That was the reason for him getting out of jail or temporarily. But yeah, it was a dope movie. It just kind of exposed like how the high school recruiting process goes. It shows you how corrupt it can get and what people will do, to make a certain player go to their school. So it kind of opened up the doors to kind of see that aspect of it and to see like kind of like what the athlete goes through when they're getting recruited by different schools and like what the schools will go to, just to make that athlete come to their school. So it was dope to see that. And then just to see like how people around you change when they start seeing you being successful, or they see that you're like a meal ticket out of the hood. You start seeing people around you starting to change and start to act differently, and especially his girl as well in that movie. So
Oh
it was
shit.
definitely
Lala was grimy as fuck.
yeah, Lala Bonita. She was definitely fine. Rosario
Yes.
Dawson was
Oh
fine in
hell
that.
yeah. You know what's funny? At the time that movie was filmed, she was actually a virgin.
Wow, could have fooled me.
Shit's crazy. Yeah, definitely. That's the thing about it. But that's the one thing I did notice from that movie, especially watching it when I got older. It just felt like everybody was just trying to get something from him. Whether
Yeah,
it was like his coach, whether it was like schools trying to recruit him, whether it was his own family, like Uncle Bubba. When Uncle Bubba like took that car and Jesus sees him driving it around, he's like, "Bro, take that fucking car back right now. If
yeah,
anybody sees me in this car, I am fucked." And unfortunately, most of all, his own damn girlfriend. His
yeah,
own damn girlfriend was trying to get something from him too. Fucking
yeah.
sad. And she didn't even feel bad about it. That was even the worst part about it. She didn't even feel bad about it. Like when he confronted her about it, she just said, "So what? At least I can admit I cheated on you, but when you cheated on me, you couldn't admit it. What am I supposed to do? Your life is set. You're going to be an NBA star. You have no worries. What do I have? What am I going to do?"
Mhm.
Yeah, some whack ass shit. Whack ass shit. Yeah, that is definitely not wifey material at all.
No, but it just shows you like a lot of like it just shows your perspective of what athletes go through. Like
Absolutely.
yeah, and like what they're going through before they get signed to a to college, or before they to go on to the NBA. This is like what happens to the people back home, and how the things that they got to navigate. And like it was just a tough time, and a lot of people will turn their back on you, or they're doing things just to look out for themselves. They're not thinking about you. They're just trying to ride your coattail to to get paid, or to make it to the next level. So just a dope movie, man. Shouts out to Spike Lee for producing that movie. He definitely doesn't,
Directing that
yeah,
movie.
directing that movie. Definitely doesn't. Always had like a interesting way to film movies. Like there's always like a different, like kind of like a vibe to them, like a gloominess to them, and it just made what made Spike Lee one of the best directors of his time. So definitely a great movie.
One thing I also liked about the movie, the Coney Island setting.
Oh yeah, that's what that was dope.
Yeah, because Spike Lee usually films most of his movies in Brooklyn, but I don't think I could think of too many movies that were like really set in Coney Island. Yeah, I really liked the vibe of it. It definitely added to it. And I just didn't realize until like spending time there, like how hood and actually how not the best place Coney Island is. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Because I remember when we were kids, they had the theme park. I always thought the theme park was fun and I would want to go there. But then, like, when I got older and actually went to Coney Island and like saw what it really was, I'm like, damn, I guess this place really isn't so nice.
yeah, it's not. Well, yeah, you don't realize, you don't, when you're younger, you don't look at certain things. You just see a carnival rides, and that's all you really pay attention to. You don't know any better. But when you get older, then you see what's really going on.
Yeah, like it's weird. It's weird to go to a beach and a theme park and have project buildings right behind it.
Yeah, it's one only place on the earth.
Yeah, I remember going there for Memorial Day one year, and right when I got off the train and saw the whole vibe of it and saw how dirty it was, I got right back on the train and went back.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, but another thing I liked about the movie, another dope thing about the movie was the music, especially the theme song he got game from Public Enemy. Yo, that song is mad fire. And that was like Public Enemy's like first real song together in years. That was like their comeback.
Yeah, yeah, it was dope.
Yeah, the movie has that story of it where like everybody's trying to use him and get something from him in the process, and it also has the story of him and his dad, how like obviously he has resentment for his dad for killing his mom, and the way all that went down and his dad being locked up. And then when his dad tries to get back into his life, he's really not having it. He really doesn't even want to have anything to do with him. Every like interaction they have with each other and conversation they have with each other is like very tense and not comfortable. But then eventually at the end of the movie, they end up playing each other, which is actually one of the best parts of it, where it pretty much comes full circle. And then Jesus beats him in the game and then basically sends him back to prison. And even though he beat him in the game and the deal was that he didn't have to sign that letter of intent to go to that school, he still decides to go to that school anyway. So that's the one thing about it I kind of don't get, is the ending where like he decides to go to the school anyway, and you don't really know whether or not the dad gets out earlier or not.
Yeah, just kind of the way they ended.
Yeah, but Denzel killed it too. I like Denzel's vibe in it. I like how he had the fro and the corn rolls, and also like how he had like more of a hip hop element to him, like that he kind of didn't have in other movies he played. But yeah, Ray Allen for working with somebody on the level of Denzel and also director wise on the level of Spike Lee. Yo, he held his own. He did his thing in this.
Yeah, he definitely did. Everybody did their thing in this movie, man. It was good, and yeah, just especially Ray Allen, man. He did his thing. It was surprising to see like a basketball player, be that good in his first like debut. I don't even think he's done anything after that.
You know who Spike Lee originally wanted to play the Jesus Shuttlesworth character?
I heard about it, but I kind of forgot. Maybe Penny or somebody like that, or Marbury.
No, 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 no. Kobe Bryant.
Oh wow, that would have been dope.
Yeah, but the thing was, Kobe had such a bad performance in those 97 playoffs, like when he shot those air balls against the Jazz, that he knew he had to spend the whole summer like focusing on his game and getting better so that he could handle, going through the regular season and, be better
Yeah,
in the playoffs. So he said he couldn't commit to it.
that was smart. Look at
Yo, I respect that move. I respect it. I get it.
yeah, it was smart. Yeah, he ended up winning championships, so yeah, made sense.
Hey, Ray Allen won championships too.
Yeah, he did his thing, but later in his career, he didn't do it like how Kobe did it, but he still got his ring or his 2 rings with the Heat.
I did like Bill Nunn also as Uncle Bubba. I thought that was entertaining too. Bill Nunn also played Radio Raheem in Do the Right Thing. I don't know
Do the
if you
right
know for
thing. Yeah,
sure, but
yeah,
yeah, you also the Dudder Man in New Jack City. You also played him too.
yeah. Spike Lee used to get the same actors in all of his movies. They used to play in all of his movies. So yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, John Turturro also in it. He was Coach Billy Sunday when they go to Tech U. You remember, John Turturro, right?
Yeah, I know his face.
Yeah, him. Also, Big Time Willie. Big Time Willie's been in other Spike Lee movies also. You probably recognize him from some of them. Oh, yeah. Big Time Willie was in Jungle Fever. He was in Jungle Fever. He was also in Do the Right Thing. He was kind of like the slow dude. He was a dude who would always talk slow and like hold up that picture of Martin and Malcolm.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, what a contrast. Yeah, what a contrast in
Yeah,
characters he played.
well, he was a good actor. Showed
Yeah,
his
he's
range.
great. Yo, yeah, he's great. Yeah, but solid ass movie. One of my favorite movies from that year being 1998. And funny enough, believe it or not, the first Spike Lee movie to debut at number one at the box office.
Wow. After all the movies, that one, I'm just kind of shocked.
Not even Malcolm X, not Do the Right Thing, not Mo Better Blues. None of those movies debuted at number one. But yeah, shout out to Spike Lee, shout out to Denzel, Ray Allen, and everybody who put this movie together. And I'm going to be watching that movie later today because I'm getting nostalgia like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. It's been a while.
Yeah, I remember we saw it in the theaters together.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's Sawgrass. Yeah, good times. But yeah, I love that movie. Can't say enough good things about it. And yeah, fucking basketball classic. I think now that I think about it, it's my favorite basketball movie.
Yeah, it was up there. I like that one. I like The Sixth Sense. That was a funny movie.
You mean The Sixth Man?
Or Six Man, my bad.
What the fuck?
Yeah, The Sixth Man. That was a funny
We're
one.
gonna say Sixth
My
Sense
bad.
wasn't a basketball movie. Nah, yeah, Sixth
The
Man.
reason why I think about Sixth Sense because Kendrick said it in that song.
I got
He
you.
kind of like he had in Euphoria. He mentioned something about The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, Sixth Man. Also, Blue Chips was pretty good too.
Yeah, I remember Blue Chips with Nick Nolte. And Shaq was in it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, Shaq and Penny were in it together. Yeah, Shaq and Penny were both in it.
Yeah.
Also, Coach Carter, I got to throw in there too, even though it's historically inaccurate with a lot of the scenes in it, but that's another story.
Yeah. Sunset Park. Remember that one?
I never really saw that one. I never saw that one from start to finish. I remember it, but I never saw it. I don't know why.
Yeah, Sunset Park was good. The soundtrack was really good too.
Oh, yeah, they had that song with MC Light. Yeah, that MC Light song they had on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it was dope.
All right, but King Kong, before we get out of here, let our listeners know how they can listen to past episodes of the podcast and also follow us on social media.
Yeah, if you want to check out past episodes, just visit shiftingtheculturepodcast.com. You can learn more about us, the show, and also catch up on past episodes. And if you want to stay in touch with us on social media, follow us on TikTok, IG, and Instagram at Shifting the Culture Podcast.
Yeah, follow us, like us, subscribe to us, connect with us in any way. And I think I'm going to be wearing black for next week's episode because I think we're going to be attending Drake's funeral.
We'll see. We'll see. You got to do something crazy to come back.
Until next time, I'm sure we're going to have a lot more to talk to you guys about next week. We're going to have my best friend, Capital L, a.k.a. El Rahmani, on the show. And yeah, we're going to be talking about a classic anniversary, which is DMX's It's Dark and Hell is Hot album. I'm looking forward to that discussion among many others. And until next time, for King Khan, this is Conscious Kurt with another edition of the Shifting the Culture podcast. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy Cinco de Mayo. And whether you're an old school head or a new school head, always respect the fucking culture. Unlike Drake.
Peace.